What I loved most about the first Witcher 3 expansion, Hearts of Stone, was how it wasn't afraid to play with its characters or poke fun at itself, eschewing the serious, often grim storylines of Wild Hunt for situations more reminiscent of an 80s sitcom than a fantasy RPG. If the few hours of hands-on time I spent with Blood and Wine, the imminent final expansion, are any indication, the development team at CD Projekt Red are taking that idea and running as fast and as far as they can with it. Set in the entirely new location of Toussaint, which is huge, easily the size of Velen or Novigrad from the original game, Blood and Wine delights in satirizing the traditional tropes of fantasy worlds and classic fairy tales. In stark contrast to the muddy swamps or hazy coastlines of Velen or Skellige, Toussaint's fields are greener, the flowers are brighter, and picturesque castles dot the idyllic countryside. The entire place feels like it's pulled straight out of a children's storybook, albeit one viewed with a hearty dose of cynicism. One quest I ended up on had me chasing down a unicorn, which turned out just to be a horse with a rock strapped to its head. It felt like every other character I ran into was a vainglorious errant knight, more concerned with the feathers on their helmets than actually protecting villagers from beasts and giants, who, it's worth pointing out, also have their own big feathery helmets. Really, this expansion should be titled Geralt Ruins Everyone's Good Time. Not because of any inherent design flaws, though the new UI updates may take some getting used to for some, but because it was apparent that even after just the first few moments, that something very ominous is being buried by the locals in mirth and whimsy, and Geralt is having none of that.
A little tempted to ask a few questions, but it sounds like a long, complicated story. So, see you later, Milton.
Mechanically, Blood and Wine doesn't appear to have changed much, and that's okay. Combat is just as tight and responsive as ever, and the crafting, alchemy, and progression systems have only been improved. This is thanks to both the plethora of tweaks, fixes, and patches that have rolled out since Wild Hunt's initial launch, and due to the addition of the new mutations ability. These upgrades, researched in the vineyard Geralt uses as his home away from home, are akin to super moves and can have devastating effects, such as turning the Ard sign into a freeze ray or causing enemies killed by a critical hit to simply explode into goo. So far, Blood and Wine promises to be a solid addition to The Witcher 3's lineup. And while I'm not sure I'll be rushing to hit the updated New Game Plus level cap of 100, I'm certainly looking forward to the alleged 30+ hours of new quests and adventures. And plenty more feathery helmets, of course.